Grace and peace, brothers and sisters. This is the Gospel Raw, Uncut, and Unheard. We're doing a very special presentation today. We call this the Hebrew Israelite Challenge. We're going to be reading straight scriptures today, okay? So if anybody right now looking at this video right now and have an attitude right now, keep in mind, we haven't even opened up the scriptures yet. Wait till we open up the scriptures, then voice your comments and complaints and everything. But what we're going to do is that we're going to let the word of the Most High speak. And we're going to tell you what that Hebrew Israelite challenge is going to be. Right now, I'm going to challenge you to read these scriptures along with us, okay? That's what we're going to do right now. Turn your scriptures to the book of Psalms, Psalm 25th chapter. Psalm 25th chapter. Psalm 25. And we're going to start off at the 5th verse. And again, we're just going to let the scriptures speak, okay? Because if you cut this video off and have a problem with anything that's being said, that's between you and the Most High, okay? Because these scriptures that we're going to read are going to speak for themselves. And you need to figure out why you have a problem with what's being taught here. Psalms 25th chapter, and start this off at the 5th verse. Psalm 25 and verse 5. Go ahead.
Lead me in thy truth, and teach me, for thou art the Elohim of my salvation. On thee do I wait all the day.
This 5th verse we just read is a psalm of David, and he's asking the Father to lead me in thy truth. Lead me in thy truth. Now, as ministers and mores of the Most High, our job is to administer truth. Truth of the word of the Most High. David here is asking the Most High to lead me in thy truth. But we're going to find out in what way, in what direction are we led into that truth. Because the thing is that many Hebrew Israelites are not really aware of this way. And if they were aware of this way, then so many of our lost brothers and sisters and those who will seek the Most High will learn of the Most High. But first, it has to start off with those of us who the Father had blessed to come into this knowledge to go about teaching this truth righteously. Because there's a lot of unrighteousness that's going on out here, and we're going to read to find out what unrighteousness that is, okay? So keep this in mind that David asked the Father to lead me in thy truth. Verse 6.
Remember, O Yahweh, thy tender mercies and thy loving kindnesses, for they have been ever of old. Now,
how did he go from lead me into thy truth to remember, O Yah, thy tender mercies? The reason why he said that, because for him to first be led into the truth, he had to first acknowledge that he needs the mercy of the Most High. Because he have not been altogether clean. He have not been altogether righteous. But you got some of us coming out here as if we are so righteous that we are preaching fear and indignation against those people who don't accept what we're teaching or don't walk the way that we walk. Okay? David is being very precise here, and it's so significant that you understand the mindset of one who was a man after Yah's own heart. Before David could even attain to that truth, he wanted the Father to remember, O Yah, thy tender mercies and thy loving kindness. We're going to read something else about that loving kindness, because the Father is full of that loving kindness. And he requires those who serve him to also be full of that loving kindness, okay? But that's what he said. He said, for they have been ever of old. Verse 7.
Remember not the sins of my youth, nor my transgressions. According to thy mercy, remember thou me for thy goodness' sake, O Yahweh.
He didn't say, remember me for my righteousness' sake. Remember me because I'm keeping Shabbat. Or remember me because I'm eating according to the dietary law. Because see, our righteousness is as of filthy rags. And I didn't make that up. It's right here in the scriptures, okay? We need to do all of those things, but you got to be mindful. You can get to a point where you just get so self-righteous that you are right and everybody is wrong. But the truth of the matter is that as servants of the Most High, we have to continuously be self-reflective and continually seek after the mercy of the Most High. He says, according to that mercy, remember thou me for his goodness' sake, O YAH. Verse 8.
Good and upright is Yahweh. Therefore will he teach sinners in the way. The meek will he guide in judgment, and the meek will he teach his way.
Are we being meek, brothers and sisters? When we stand before people trying to administer the truth, do they see the spirit of meekness in us? Because that is what's required of us. Despite anything that you've heard, we're going to show you, not just from one place here, but we did read this in one place here, that the meek will he guide in judgment, and the meek will he teach in his way. Let's go on to Jeremiah, the 31st chapter. I want to touch on that loving kindness thing for a minute. See, a lot of you all are getting very upset with what you're hearing because you want to hear something that's going to be spectacular, something that should be on Jerry Springer or whatever. But what we bringing to you is something that the Most High want and need for you to know, Hebrew Israelite. Okay? Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, start this off at the first verse. Jeremiah 31 and verse 1.
At the same time, saith Yahweh, will I be the Elohim of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people.
Hey, that's something that all Hebrew Israel know and understand. We wear that on our sleeve. At the same time, says Yah, will I be the Elohim of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people. You got some Israelites right now teaching this doctrine that, okay, I read this, he ain't saying nothing about no other nation, so that must mean that they can't be saved. Well, the truth of the matter, we're not going to deal too deep in this, that the Father made, the only covenants that he made is with Israel. But the point to that was that everyone else have an opportunity to join themselves to the covenant that the Father made to Israel. The covenant that he made with us is that we will be a peculiar treasure unto him and a priest nation. If everyone in Israel are priests, then who are we a priest to? Huh? You have to be a priest to somebody in order to be a priest. He sanctified us to be a priest nation, to be representatives of the Father on this earth. He sanctified us to be a light unto the Gentiles. But we're not going to go there right now. But what I just said is according to Scripture here, but we're not going to go there. But continue, verse 2.
Thus saith Yahweh, the people which were left of the sword found grace in the wilderness, even Israel, when I went to cause him to rest.
Okay.
Yahweh hath appeared of old unto me, saying, Yea, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. Therefore with loving kindness have I drawn thee.
He drawn us with what?
Loving kindness.
If the Father drew us with loving kindness, what makes you think that that same loving kindness is not what's going to draw others into this truth? What makes you think that he drew you with loving kindness, but yet you're going to draw somebody else with vile, vain words and attitudes and all these things that do not reflect the righteousness of the Most High? Find out where that deceptive spirit comes from, Israel, because I'm going to tell you right off the bat. We are not known to be a good people. People talk about Hebrew Israelites believe this, Hebrew Israelites believe that. They believe that that man over there is the Messiah. They believe that they can go out there and curse out women and curse out everybody in the street, hold a book in one hand and speaking vile, profane words out of their mouth. That's what we are known as, brothers and sisters, because Satan has deceived a whole lot of us out there and has allowed the adversary to allow us to be on high places so that people will turn from the truth. So that when people hear somebody talk about Hebrew Israelites, say, I know what y'all deal with. I don't want to deal with that. And they have a right to do that. Because see, here's the thing. When you are out here wielding this word unrighteously, the blood of that person that would have been delivered is going to be on your head. So the message that we're bringing is not a message, a mean message. It's a message of love. Because we love Hebrew Israelites. We love you all. We want to be able to walk on the streets of Cleveland, of Orlando, of Atlanta, of New York, and when we see our Hebrew Israelite brothers out there, we want to know that we're looking at the spirit of meekness, the spirit of humility, the spirit of loving kindness. Because anything less than that, and you could believe you got all the knowledge of the world, it does not matter. This is what David was trying to tell us here in Psalm 25. All that knowledge in the world does not matter. Anything that comes out of my mouth does not matter if you not seeing the spirit of the righteousness of the Father in me. If I'm coming with anything contrary to that, then guess what? You need to turn around and flee because you ain't got nothing to learn from me. You have nothing to learn from me. You see? And there have been times, and I'm going to be honest with you, there have been times when I have allowed myself to get out of hand because I didn't recognize that spirit. You know? And I had got puffed up. See, I'm telling you that because we are all not as righteous as we need to be, but we need to recognize that when that adversary spirit come on us, that we need to deal with that, brothers and sisters. And that's what we're trying to convey to our brothers and sisters out there. Because time is short. Time is short. You know, those who think they are first is going to be last. Those who think they are last are going to be first. So we're trying to promote our own righteousness. If the righteous is scarcely saved, then where should the unrighteous and sinner appear, is what the scripture says. These are things that we have to think about, brothers and sisters, okay? So let's now go on to the book of Isaiah. Isaiah 11 chapter. And here's the thing. Keep in mind all of these verses that we read. If you want to ignore the words that come out of my mouth when I speak out of the scriptures, you can do that. But the verses that we're coming with, pay close attention because it's going to be the same thing from the so-called Old Testament to the so-called New Testament. This is how you know what the truth is. It ain't, yeah, I know that you read about meekness and loving kindness, but there is no but. There is no but. It is what it is, okay? Isaiah 11 chapter. Start this off at verse 1. Isaiah 11 and verse 1.
And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, a branch shall grow out of his roots, and the spirit of YAH shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and the fear of Yahweh.
Now, he done said a whole bunch of stuff to describe what goes on with the spirit of YAH. But the same spirit that he read here, the same spirit that has to rest on each and every one of us. It said the spirit of God shall rest upon him. Spirit of wisdom. Okay? People know when they're hearing words of wisdom. Even if they don't really have the knowledge, they know when they're listening to somebody with wisdom. And if I'm coming to you saying all kind of curse words and profanity, whatever, people going to be like, no, something's wrong with that dude. Something is not quite right. He's speaking as a foolish man. And they have every right to think that. Every right to think that. See, the concept is called gainsaying. Gainsaying. Gainsaying is when someone tries to come up with something else to deflect away from what you're supposed to be representing. So if I say, well, I'm here trying to teach these people the truth, but then look what he's doing over there. He's doing this, that, the other. That's what gainsaying is. So we're supposed to be without gainsaying. Okay? If I'm going to be thrown into jail, I ain't going to be thrown into jail because I uttered some foolishness out of my mouth, or because I uttered some threatenings and cursings out of my mouth. Because you know what? We see that this happened with the apostles, prophets. When they were thrown in jail, they were thrown in jail for sheer righteousness. And when they got in jail, they didn't even rail against the ones that put them in jail. They showed them kindness, meekness, because they know that they were not in power. See, Israel, that's the thing. I wanted to touch on that a little bit. You have to understand the difference when you read this history book of how we are as a nation, as opposed to when the Father put us under subjection. We have to deal with a whole other type of thing there. David was one that knew that. If you look at read the story of David, he knew that. When the Father raised him up to be king, he dealt with as being king. Still in the spirit of meekness, still in the spirit of understanding, but he dealt with power. But when the Father had to set him down and cause his son to run him up off the throne, he dealt with the meekness according to that. Because he knew that if he dealt according to that, that only the Father would be the one that raised him back on the throne. Had the brother of Benjamin come out there and throw rocks at him. And the brother was like, man, you want me to take that guy's head off? He said, no, don't do that. He said, because YAH told them to say these words to me. We ain't got that type of wisdom and understanding. But we can read it all day long, brother. You have to have the spirit of discernment. Whenever we were subject to another people, we humbled ourselves. Okay? We didn't get all boastful and rail against the very one that the Father used to punish us. Huh? You must not know what the Scripture says concerning how we got here in the first place. Go up and read in the book of Daniel. Daniel dealing with that, what you would call that cracker king, Nebuchadnezzar. You know, Daniel addressed his king like, oh king, live forever. Okay? You see what I'm saying? Because Daniel knew that, and Daniel was a president. But he knew that the Father put us under subjection to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. And when he addressed him out of respect. The only time he drew the line was when the king said something totally contrary to what Daniel knew to do. And even when he did that, he was still respectful to the king. So respectful to the king that when them guys tricked King Nebuchadnezzar and caused Daniel to be thrown into the lion's den, the king saw so much love in Daniel that he didn't even go to sleep that night. He was like, oh man, he was like, man, I hope them lions don't. Early in the morning he came up to Daniel, are you alright? He the one that threw Daniel in the lion's den, no. And Daniel came, he didn't come out cursing that king. See, you got to understand, brothers and sisters, that there's a proper order. But we don't operate according to this order. Same thing with them apostles. Father calls an earthquake, and correct me if I'm wrong, Father calls an earthquake to hit that prison. Hit that prison that the apostle was in. But they didn't even run out that prison. They stayed right there because they wanted to show the ones who put them in captive the true power of the Most High. And they were so respectful to them at the same time. Israel, we need to understand the time that we're living in. Matter of fact, let me sidetrack from this for a minute. Let's go into 1 Kings, the 8th chapter, because see, this is the thing that we have to seek. We have to seek the peace of the land of the people that we're in, okay? And the reason why we have to do that, and I ain't saying we should do it, I say we have to do it. The reason why we have to do it because the Father wants us to be an example. This is the example the Father wants us to bring forth. Let's see, we're going to read in regard to the dedication of the temple that Solomon built here. And, you know, again, a lot of you all may be familiar with this passage, but do you understand it? That's the thing. I believe that is 1 Kings 8th chapter, and start this off at verse 44. 1 Kings 8th chapter, verse 44. Go ahead.
If thy people go out to battle against their enemy, whithersoever thou shalt send them, and thou shalt pray unto Yahweh toward the city which thou hast chosen, and toward the house that I have built for thy name, Then hear thou in heaven their prayer and their supplication, and maintain their cause. If they sin against thee, for there is no man that sinneth not, and thou be angry with them, and deliver them to the enemy, so that they carry them away captives unto the land of the enemy, far or near.
Now this is us he's talking about here. He said, they sin against thee, for there is no man that sinneth not, and you be angry with them, and deliver them to the enemy, so that they carry them away captives unto the land of their enemy, far and near. Solomon was only speaking because Moses had already prophesied about this. So Solomon saying, just in case when this come to pass, what? 47, I'm sorry.
Yet, if they shall bethink themselves in the land whither they were carried captives, and repent, and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captives, saying, we have sinned, and we have done perversely, we have committed wickedness, and so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul.
Stop. He said, yet if they shall bethink themselves where? In the land whither they were carried captives. So I guess America would fit into that criteria. And all the other places that Israel was scattered, because we were scattered into all nations, those nations will fit into. He said, if we will bethink ourselves in the land where we were carried away captives, and repent, and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captives, saying, we have sinned and have done perversely, we have committed wickedness. And so return unto thee with all their heart, not with some of their heart, all their heart. Finish that up for me.
And all their soul in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and pray unto thee toward their land which thou gavest unto their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name. Then hear their prayer and their supplication in heaven, thy dwelling place, and maintain their cause.
Maintain their cause. What cause is it that they're maintaining? That's the question. Because if I was to stop right here, I would think that that cause would be to smite our enemies and just strike them down with all of these things, which we know is going to happen, but we're reading something very specific here. See, something very specific, because he didn't say if we be in a land of our enemies and then preach fire and brimstone to them and tell them this, that, and the other. He told us that in the land of our enemies we have to bethink ourselves and to repent. Okay? Seek after the righteous spirit of the Most High. And then he said he will maintain their cause. Read how he's going to maintain their cause. Verse 50.
And forgive thy people that have sinned against thee, and all their transgressions wherein they have transgressed against thee, and give them compassion before them who carried them captive.
You mean tell me we have to seek after the compassion of them that carried us away in captive? Huh? Now, that's what I'm reading in this scripture. I don't know what scripture you all might be reading out of, and you're doing yourself a very bad disservice if your scriptures are not open reading along with this. You see? Because the one thing they hear brothers talk and read on this, but when you're reading it for yourself, can't nobody take it away from you. Not only can't nobody take it away from you, but you can't say, those brothers said this, those brothers said that. Because those brothers ain't said nothing. Okay? It said here that in the land of our captivity, we have to seek after the compassion before them who carried them captive. And you know what? It ain't nothing new under the sun, because when you think about it, we was in the land of Egypt, and the Father called that same compassion as it fall on them Egyptians. He said, go borrow from them Egyptians and get all the stuff from them, borrow from them, and them Egyptians gave that stuff up willingly. Not because we threatened them and all this. They had compassion on us before we went up out that land, according to what we read in the scripture. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Okay, let's go into the book of Psalms, Psalm 37. Psalm 37, and let's start this off at the first verse. Psalm 37 and verse 1.
Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. For they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb.
We need to find out how is the term evil defined according to the Most High. He told us to fret not ourselves because of evildoers. So either we're going to be either on one side or the other side. Okay? But he's telling the righteous to fret not yourself because of evildoers. Okay? Let's skip down. Skip down to verse 5.
Commit thy way unto Yahweh, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. And he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Rest in Yahweh and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass.
That's where a lot of prospering is happening in this society that we live in. This is not a righteous society that we live in, brothers and sisters. So more often than not, when you see some prosperity going on, and these people thinking that God has given them this prosperity, the God of this world has given them this prosperity. He's telling you right now to fret not yourself because of evildoers. He says, rest in Yah and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way. You know, because if we don't have no sense, we're going to be like, man, you know, that cat, how am I'm trying to live righteous, but yet I don't have what this guy got. If you ain't got that understanding, that will mess you up. But with understanding, you can understand what's really going on. Okay? Verse 8.
Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself anywise to do evil.
Uh-oh. See, now, did y'all read what that said? It says, cease from anger and forsake wrath. Forsake wrath. Forsake anger. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. He put evil in the same context as anger and wrath.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, did I misunderstand that? Huh? I need to read that again because I think I might have missed something here. He says, cease from anger, and the very fact that he says cease, meaning that's evil right there, because he wouldn't tell us to cease from righteousness. He says, cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. Evil, i.e., anger and wrath. So we be out here on the street corners with the spirit of anger, the spirit of wrath. He telling us, say, we need to remove that from us, because that's evil all in itself. Verse 9.
For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon Yahweh, they shall inherit the earth.
Wait a minute, hold up. Let's see. He said evildoers, and he done gave us a clear example of that evilness. He said they shall gonna be cut off. So while you out there talking about all these people, Esau, Edom, the white man, and all this, gonna be cut off, you need to watch where you stand. Okay? And I'm saying this out of love. Believe me when I tell you I'm telling you this out of love. Because the scripture is speaking plainly for itself. It says, for evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon Yah, they shall inherit the earth. The scripture said that somebody else is going to inherit the earth too, but they're the same people. Those that wait on Yah and someone else. Verse 10.
For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. But the meek shall inherit the earth.
Oh, the meek are the ones who wait on Yah. The meek. And if you don't know what the word meek is, look it up in your dictionary. Because this is a spirit that we have to attain to be. You know, some people be like, hey, where I come from, you got to be hard to deal with these people out here. No, you need to be according to the spirit of the Most High. Simple as that. Don't allow your environment to dictate how you should be. Because your environment is an environment that comes from the adversary. Think about it. Think about your environment. What part of your environment is the Spirit of the Most High? Okay? And people hearing this probably think, oh, he's talking about New York or whatever. It doesn't matter. I could be talking about the bling-bling environment of Atlanta. I could be talking about the carefree, liberal attitude of California. Okay? I could be talking about where I come from, Chi-Town's environment. You know? I go up there right now, it ain't safe to walk down no street up there because they killing people left and right up there, okay? So what part of any of these environments is reflective of the Spirit of Yah? You have to sanctify yourselves and come up from out of that spirit. You have to sanctify yourself. You have to say, man, you know I used to be like this. I know that I used to be like that, and I can't help. No, you have to help that. Because he's telling you who's going to inherit the earth. Okay? You know, like, I got people, calling me names, coward, weak, and all this stuff like that. And all these people say that, it's an internet thing, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is, you know what? I'll be all of that for the glory of the Father. I'm going to put it just like this. I know there have been times when I probably said or did something a little bit contrary to that, but I was wrong. I was totally in error. Okay? I would be a coward. I would be weak. I would be all that. I'll tell you one way I won't be a coward, though. If it comes to pass and I have to die for this word, I would love to believe that the Father will strip me so I can do just that, because some of us are going to have to do it. See, we get so high-minded that we like, I can't wait till we kill this, kill that. Do you understand that you might be the one that has to die that death? Okay? This is why it is so important that when you die to death, you need to die without gainsaying. You need to die because there ain't nothing else they can say but this is somebody that served the true and living Elohim. Simple as that, okay? But again, he said that the meek shall inherit the earth and shall delight themselves in abundance of peace, okay? And I'm going to go here because I'm sure that most of you all that are listening to this already know what this is, but you probably just don't realize how important this is. Matthew 5th chapter. Let's go there real quick. Matthew 5. Again, if they speak not according to the law and the testimony, it's because there is no light in them. Okay? So when you walk away from this, you ain't going to be able to say, well, that brother was just dealing with that New Testament stuff. That brother was just dealing with, I don't even think we've even been in the New Testament just yet. Okay? But we're going to see that same word of the Most High throughout the whole Scriptures. So if you deny any part of this, you might as well just throw that book away. Simple as that. Okay? Matthew the 5th chapter. Matthew 5. And let's start off at, let's go straight to it. Matthew 5 and 2. Matthew 5 and 2. Matthew 5 and verse 2. Go ahead.
Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
Now, Yahshua didn't just make that up. He didn't just make that up. See, it was already spoken about. Already. Everything that he said, in fact, is something that you should be able to go back into the law and into the prophets and read it. Because if you don't understand Yahshua, or if you want to call him Yahweh, you want to call him Yeshua, Yahoshua, all that, hey, all that is whatever it is. But if you don't understand that one that came 2,000 years ago and is right now sitting on the right hand of the Father, if you don't understand him according to the law and the prophets, then you might need to go back and find out about him, okay? But that's a whole other lesson. The point of me saying that is what he's saying right here is something that was already written, already came. This is the Spirit of the Most High he's dealing with here. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Okay? And then, just for sake of understanding, skip down to verse 10. Huh? Okay, yeah, we can go to verse 9. Thank you so much. Go on to verse 9.
Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of Elohim.
Very good point. Okay? So, the message that we come to you today is a message of showing you how important it is to be meek, showing you how important it is to be peacemakers. Not warmongers, but peacemakers. Because peacemakers are equivalent to, are called the children of Elohim. If you're not coming with the Spirit, you are not a child of the Most High.
Amen.
I don't care how much you be talking out of this book, telling whatever it is that you're trying to say, and then talking scriptures on one side and deceiving people on the other side of your mouth through your actions. You can't do that. Okay? It says that the peacemakers are called the children of Elohim. Okay? Verse 10.
Blessed are they that are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Persecuted for righteousness' sake. Not persecuted for foolishness. Not persecuted for blasphemy. Not persecuted for a lot of the things that we're about to read. We're about to read some of the things that you may be persecuted for, and you need to check that. But it says, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And for those that don't know, the kingdom of heaven is going to be right here on the earth. You know, because some people that don't have understanding, they say, well, I don't want to be meek because I'm going to inherit the earth. I'd rather be persecuted for righteousness' sake, but then I got the kingdom of heaven, like it's two different things. They don't understand that it's the same thing. Kingdom of heaven is going to be right here on this earth. When Yahshua sits on the throne of promise, which is the throne of David, because he's not sitting on the throne of David yet. He's sitting at the Father's throne, but he shall sit on his throne at the time appointed. But that's another lesson. Let's go on to Zephaniah, the 2nd chapter. Zephaniah, 2nd chapter. Moving right along. Zephaniah is going to get a little taste back into the old, or the so-called old, quote-unquote old, rather. Zephaniah, the 2nd chapter. That's a very hard book to find. It's right between Habakkuk and Hagar, if that helps. All right, Zephaniah, the 2nd chapter, and let's start this off at verse 1.
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
O nation not desired, okay? Now, there's a reason why we hadn't been desired, because the Father put his curse upon us. But as he put his curse upon us, we still are acting like a cursed people. You see, those of us who understand this curse is still acting like a people that are cursed. How does that work? See, knowledge is supposed to change you to make you a better person. Knowledge is supposed to set you high above your condition. See, I can get among a whole group of Gentiles, and I do it constantly. I kid you not. Not because I have this inordinate love for Gentiles. I could go stories, but I ain't going to go there with you right now. The point is that when you come into the knowledge of self, you don't even have to look at them the way that you were led to look at them when you didn't have no knowledge. And that's just, I'm just being honest with you. You know, because when you don't have knowledge of self, then you are just what they say you are. You're 3/5 of a human. I mean, I understand the whole concept of being 3/5 of a human. Because a full human has knowledge of self. A human do not go by the name of the slave master, but they go by their own name. Okay? And I can go on and on and on, but the point is that he's saying in this first verse, gather yourself together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Do not be a nation not desired because you still under the cursed mindset. Okay? Verse 2.
Before the decree bring forth, before the day passes the chaff, before the fierce anger of Yahweh come upon you, before the day of Yah's anger come upon you. Seek ye Yahweh, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. seek righteousness, seek meekness, that it may be that ye shall be hid in the day of Yahweh's anger.
The Father have a day of anger that's coming up. It is the day of, where in the English we read it, the day of the Lord, but it is the day of Yahweh, a terrible and cruel day. And his prophet Zephaniah have given us one of the keys that we will not be subject to his anger. He says, seek ye Yah, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of Yah's anger. He gave you one of the keys that will help you be hid when the Father put his anger out on this earth. Okay? Because being Israel according to the flesh is not what's going to save you. And the reason why I know that, because Yahshua said it plainly. He said, many shall come and sit at my table from the east, west, and from the south, sit it with me and Abraham at the table. But you seed of Abraham, you're going to be cast in the outer darkness, where there shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. See, Yahshua he didn't come at the Gentiles like he came at Israel, you know, because the Gentiles, the scripture said that at one time the Father winked at them. But now he done calls all men into his righteousness right now. But it starts with the ones who the Father have anointed to teach this truth. See? Ezekiel keeps talking about how he sends out a watchman. The watchman is his servant, Israel. He sends a watchman to sound the alarm. Who you sound alarm to? The all that are facing that destruction. There was an alarm sounded in Sodom, but they didn't hear that alarm. An alarm sounded in Egypt, but they didn't hear that alarm. Check this out. There was an alarm sounded in Nineveh, but guess what?
They heard it.
Oh, come on. Come on. There was an alarm sounded in Nineveh, and that alarm just happened to be sounded by a prophet that did not have the right understanding, Jonah. That's a whole other lesson. But he, after the Father there, rebuked them and caused them to go through some suffering, because he had the same mindset that many of us Israelites got today. Y'all don't need to be saved because y'all are the heathen. Father said, hey, however many of these days, I forget how many days, but this place is going to be tore up. You go and tell them people that. He didn't want to go and tell them people that. He like, hey, which way is Nineveh? That way. Okay, I'm going that way. The whole opposite way. After the Father dealt with Jonah, he was right there in Nineveh, speaking the words that the Father put on him to say. And when the king heard it, he looked, he didn't waste no time. He took off the royal garb off him, put on sackcloth and ashes, and commanded everybody in that realm, in the city, y'all better not eat nothing. Y'all better not drink nothing. And see, we understand that, because we doing this on the Day of Atonement, 2009. But that's what he told them. Don't drink nothing, don't eat nothing. And he was a true king to those people. Forget about all this stuff that make us such a great nation of Assyrians, of Ninevites. The Elohim of the Hebrews said this. Time out for that. They were worshiping, man, they were Ninevites were worshiping all type of deities, man. But when this Israelite spoke, just like even when Jonah was on the boat, and they were going through these things and Jonah was asleep, they say, well, who are you? And what is your occupation? And where are you from? He said, I am Jonah, servant of the Most High, Yahweh of Elohim. I'm like, wait, how you going to be a servant if you was a servant, you wouldn't have been on the boat in the first place. But he was so quick to tell the people, I am an Israelite, a servant of Yahweh Elohim. That tripped me out when I see that. He had the same spirit that a lot of these Israelites out here got. So quick to be talking about they are Israelites this and Israelite that, but yet they do contrary to what the Father done bidded them to do according to the scripture. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Deep thing. Okay, let's go into the book of James. Let's go into James. I'm gonna cut this short just a little bit. Because if you ain't got it by now, I don't know what to tell you, but we're going to keep going nevertheless. Let's go on to James. James, the 3rd chapter. Yeah, okay. We're going to go on to James, the 3rd chapter, and we're going to start this off at the 8th verse. James 3. James 3rd chapter and verse 8.
But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison.
Now he said that this tongue that's in our mouth can no man tame. It is an unruly evil. But see, the proper he's just talking about men in general. But if you seek after the Spirit of the Most High, then you should be able to discipline, which is the root word for disciple, your tongue. Without discipline, then you just like any other man that can't tame that tongue. But he said it is an unruly evil. And evil is what we have to refrain from. Okay? Go ahead.
Therewith bless we Elohim, even the Father, and therewith curse we men which are made after the similitude of Elohim.
Wait a minute. Now, I might not be very great in biology, but I believe without a shadow of doubt that if I see somebody that got a head pretty much like me, with 2 eyes, a mouth and a nose, that got arms and got legs like this, that I'm able to converse with, I just make that thing. They say, well, that's a monkey and they got that. So, you see, before you get me, that I'm able to converse with and we're able to communicate. I think I'm dealing with a man right there. Huh? Let's see what that said again. It says, therewith bless we Elohim. Praise the name of the Most High Elohim. Bless we Elohim, even the Father, and therewith curse we men, which are made after the similitude of Elohim. And it said, curse we men, and don't come with that crap about those men is just talking about Israel. That's crap. Men. Wait a minute. Let's clear that one up real quick. Adam was the first man. Is not Adam the father of all mankind? So that means he's the father of these Gentiles as well as us too. Now, who in the Bible was made after the similitude of Elohim?
Adam.
Adam was made after the similitude of Adam. And that we can read that. We can read that. It said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. Who was that man? Adam. So Adam is the father of who? Everybody that's on the face of this earth. So when we understand something as simple as that, it says again, therewith bless we Elohim, even the Father, and therewith curse we men which are made after the similitude of Elohim. That covers all men. We bless the Father, but we curse men. Okay? Verse 10.
Out of the same mouth proceedeth blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not to be so.
Oh, man. Oh, man. He said, wait a minute. That might sound good, but guess what? These things ought not be so. It was another place. How can you love me that you do not see and hate your brother that you see every day? Okay? And again, don't come to me with my brother this, my brother that. He's talking about your neighbor. Love your neighbor. Wait, we're gonna read that. Don't love your neighbor as yourself. But that's what he's saying here. He's saying right here that these things ought not be so. Verse 11.
Does a fountain send forth at the same place sweet water and bitter? Can the fig tree, my brethren, bear olive berries, or either a vine figs? So no fountain both yield salt water and fresh.
That's right. They don't. They don't yield both salt water and fresh. Now we're going to read something that's so deep it's almost scary. Go ahead.
Who is a wise man endued with knowledge among you?
Oh, that's a question. That's a question. I don't even want to name the different Hebrew Israelite organizations. I ain't going to do that because there's no need for that. Here's a question that's being asked here. Who is a wise man and endowed with knowledge among you? That's a question. That's a question. Who is a wise man and endowed with knowledge among you? Let's see if he can give us a clue to that. Go ahead.
Let him shew out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom.
Wow. 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 He gave us a clue right there. If I'm on this here, what they call black Hebrew Israelite, and I'm out here showing anything else but the spirit of meekness, then that would eliminate me from being this wise man right here. Okay? That would eliminate me from that. It ain't me. Brother, you coming with the same thing. It ain't you either. Okay? He asked the question and he answered it at the same time. Who is a wise man and endowed with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation, good, not evil, not blasphemy, not vain babbling and talking, good conversation, his work with meekness of wisdom. Go ahead.
But if ye have bitter envy and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie not against the truth.
That's right, because you are a liar. You are a liar against the truth. All this so-called knowledge that you think you got, but you ain't coming with the spirit of knowledge, the spirit of wisdom, the spirit of meekness, is all for nothing. For naught. Okay? He says, but if you have bitter envy and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie not against the truth. You know? Had a brother tell me the other day, man, brother, you be laughing too much, man. That ain't what the Spirit of the Most High do because y'all smiling. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Where you get that from, though? Where do you get that from? You see, I laugh and I because the thing is that the Word make me feel good. You know, because the stuff that I go through on a daily basis, if you only knew it would make you, whoo, I don't even want to get into it. You know, but this word is what he said it was going to be. He said this word is going to be a sanctuary among the places where he even carried us away captive. And I understand that. I understand that really well. And that's why I try to keep forth that smile. That's why I try to keep forth that if somebody come and want this knowledge and understanding in regards of who he is, I'm able to bring forth in however the way the Father allowed me to do it in the spirit of meekness. If I can't come in that spirit of meekness, then I'm going to have to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to have to keep it shut. Simple as that. Where we at? Verse 15.
This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish.
Oh, look what he called. He said this wisdom. He called it wisdom. That's the thing. All wisdom and knowledge is not good wisdom and knowledge, brothers and sisters. Because the very first thing that made mankind fall was this wisdom that came out of the mouth of a beguiling serpent. That was the wisdom that he had that caused all mankind to fail. She said he had a fruit that looked like one to be desired and to make one wise. That's what she saw. And she ate of it and gave it to her husband and he ate of it. Okay? See what it says there? It says this wisdom descended not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. Woo! Wow. Go ahead.
For where envy and strife is, there is confusion in every evil work.
Brother, wow. So you mean to tell me I'm out on the corner and they like, there go that brother out there on the corner, so you know what's about to happen, right? You about to hear all type of stuff, crap come out of his mouth. He about to get into a fight. He about to start a fight. Nothing but other confusion. You're going to hear him cursing. You're going to hear him doing all that stuff. It says right here, for where envy and strife is, there's confusion and every evil work. That word evil is being used all throughout, and we get a very good understanding of what evil he's talking about here. Okay? Verse 17.
But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated.
Woo-hoo-hoo! But the wisdom that is from above is first pure. The thing is that the pure knowledge is by opening up the scriptures and show somebody the pure knowledge of the word of the Most High. Okay? Forget all that other stuff, come with the truth first and foremost. Because we tend to say stuff that may sound good to us and expect other people to just believe it because we say so. When all you got to do is open up the scriptures and give them what you're supposed to be representing, the word of the Most High. Okay? But that's what he said. He said, but the wisdom that is from above is first pure. This is the wisdom that comes from above that we're reading out right here. It's pure, and then it's peaceable. Peaceable. Peaceable it means that there is no room for gainsaying. Man, I'm mad at that brother because he what? Because he just told you the truth. He didn't curse you out. He didn't call you out your name. All he did was open up the scripture and just gave you that understanding right here according to scripture without no bias or anything else. Peaceable is gentle. Gentle, that's what it is. Easy to be entreated. Easily to be entreated. Easy to be entreated. Just like this lesson right here that we doing today. Very easy to be entreated. If you are the spirit of the Most High, there's no reason to be offended by the words that we speak. No reason to be offended. Those who are of the spirit of the Most High, all you can do is just rejoice. And I'm rejoicing right here along with you because as I teach, I'm learning at the same time. Because this is the spirit of the Most High right here. This is what we read here is allowing us to be kept in check. Because a lot of stuff may not be easy because of what makes it not easy is the adversary always continue to be dealing with us. He desired to sift all of us like wheat. Because he know, and this lesson right here too, that if all Hebrew Israelites embrace this truth right here, you will see a remarkable thing among Israel now. I can't even fathom in my mind what that would be like. Man, these churches would shut down on Sundays. Okay? These barbecue places, they would go out of business. All of our children in our community will start being wise because they will have filled their vessels with stuff that the Father created for us to be able to function in this world. Healthcare, and we wouldn't have to worry about that as much. And I say as much because this body is a body of sin. It's a corruptible body, so we can't escape that. But a lot of things that we have to deal with is because of our own ignorance and of our own foolishness. That will vanish away. But we have to get our household decent and in order right now. Right now. Okay? Where we at? It said, but the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, easy being treated, full of mercy. He done came with so many adjectives here that you just take one and just roll with that. But he let you know that he wants you to understand this to the fullest extent of the word, how you are supposed to be that wise man endowed with knowledge, and what that wise man endowed with knowledge is supposed to be able to come across with. If you can't come across with it like this, then you might as well just leave it alone. You may as well leave it alone. Okay? All right? Okay? It says, full of mercy, good fruits without partiality and without hypocrisy. Verse 18.
And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace.
Hallelujah. That's right. It's sown in peace of them that make peace. Real quickly, Galatians, 5th chapter, Galatians 5. We're almost done, but I praise y'all for those of you who stayed right here with your scriptures open, and And I hope you are being edified by this word. Galatians 5th chapter and verse 13. Galatians 5 and verse, let's see, let's go down. Start this at, we're going to go right to it. Verse 18. Galatians 5 and verse 18. Go ahead.
But if you be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the things which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Elohim. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
Ain't no law against these things. You shouldn't even be put in jail if you got these spirits on you. Truth be told. Okay. But again, that's another lesson. But go ahead.
And they that are Messiahs have crucified the flesh with affections and lusts. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not be desirous of vain glory, provoking one another, envying one another.